Hello YouTube, TheBLOB here, and I'm bringing you another Empire Total War Online play, because why not? This time Russians. Why not? Let's use Russians. I'm still fiddling with a couple of builds, still new to Empire Total War relatively, but I've been hosting an open challenge room. If you just happen to see it, jump on in. You might notice it's me. If you do, just say what's up and then proceed to shoot my men down in neat rows, because that's how it's done in this time period. Alright, so Russian army. I took a huge Russian army. I took a lot of line infantry and Cossacks and a whole bunch of stuff. Now, I wanted to just basically load my army together into tight columns, and I realized the center of the map here between these two masses was no good. So I shifted the entire army down here, and I'm laying it out, and we're already sort of doing a thing. Let me pause it real quick. So I've got light infantry right up front. These guys are sort of long-range shooters if you've never played the game. Light infantry here. Followed up by axe guys. Yup, I just thought this was too cool. I had seen this before in other YouTube plays, but yeah, axemen. Had to do it. So 3 huge units of axemen leading the line, just behind skirmishers, followed by classic horde of Russian infantry. And you can see this goes on forever. Lots of Russian infantry, way out on the flank, a Cossack unit just for the hell of it, and the general in the back. So, game begins. Let me jump down the line here. I've never played this guy. We were talking in the chat back and forth beforehand. Seemed like a pretty good guy. And here's his army. General way out here. I was a little bit surprised by this. You can see my army in the distance out there. A little bit cav, and then Austrian infantry. Line after line of Austrian infantry. He managed to bring a 12-pounder. He's got more 12-pounders, more cavalry on the flank, and another general. And I guess that's why I was surprised when the game started, because I didn't realize he had taken 2 generals. Whatevers. But anyway, you can see he's unbalanced by my setup over here. And for a second, I literally sat still and just looked at his army. I was just curious. And apparently he did too. Because he doesn't start shifting. And I was very curious, and I noticed this, and I said, well, what the hell? I'm not going to wait for him to come to me. Let's just step right out. So that's what we're doing. You can see now he's begun to shift. And this is where it gets interesting, because in my mind, I thought he would anchor sort of off the artillery here and form maybe a line at right angles with a salient pointed right towards me. Instead, what you can see he's doing is he's sidestepping half of his army, which I thought was really strange. Here comes the rest of it, but you can see there was a noticeable time delay. And now he begins sidestepping the rest. Artillery's way out of play here, so I was very lucky there in the setup. I'm not gonna lie, that was not part of my plan. I was just very lucky. So let's get a look. Let's get a look down here at the Austrian army, watching the Russian horde come down. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you can tell we got a lot of guys. My plan, basically to use the skirmishers to cause damage from a distance, of course. They outrange this line infantry a little bit. And then what we want to do is we want to get the axemen all over these guys in our army. I don't want to wait. Where's my axeman? Yes. I don't want to wait, you know? I want the axemen into the flanks of the Austrian infantry so that my huge battalions of line infantry can just shoot it out. So, from my perspective, I can see he's trying to form, but I can see the rest of his army is way behind. So we're not going to wait. And I'm going to start pivoting the army around this massive through these woods. All the while shifting the axemen to my right, his left. See, there they go, while the skirmishers push forward and the line infantry push forward. And we're not screwing around here when it comes to numbers. Serious stuff here. The Russian army, I don't know how many of these men can do math. They make fine soldiers. We are closing quickly on the Austrians. Now you can see they are starting to press with these, the back half of his army starting to move up. I'm leaving the Cossacks way back there to see what this does. And I'm going to pivot the line and anchor it off those woods. Again, working to his flank. I want all this Russian infantry and these skirmishers holding these Austrian infantrymen in place while my axemen work around the flank. Go on, boys. These are just axes. This was really cool to see, because, you know, I mean, we're talking about guns here, guys. You see Austrians starting to close in now, and here comes my opponent's first serious move. He throws a charge at me. If we countercharge, knowing full well that it would be a bloodbath. Oh yes, but we immediately throw the rest of the axemen. We are pulling guys off horses here. Well, we better be. I want to get caught up in this because a fight's going on here. Skirmishers are opening up. His cavalry's finally made a move at the Cossacks in the trees, and my infantry is going to hold strong against his. You see he's shifting battalions now because I think he realizes his cavalry, his cavalry is going to get chewed up real bad in that fight. Now what I want to do is hold this left. My boys are going to just stay here and shoot it out with his Austrians until they go away, or we do. I don't give a damn. Skirmishers gummying up his center. And you can see we are starting to load some volleys now. Good shooting, boys. Oh yeah, axemen cleaned up the cab. Now I got to be careful here. I got to reform, and I got to roll up this damn line. I got to do it quick while I reinforce the center. And I did this just to keep these battalions busy. You can see he wants to send in some battalions. And I think he's going for hand-to-hand here. I don't know why, but he's doing it. You can see I sent some line infantry in. This is pretty cool here. He actually formed square. This was badass. Oh yeah, that's what, that's what you get. And these are axemen, son. Form on square you want. You see he's going to try and kite me away here. And meanwhile, I took this fight in the center. Hand to hand, and I'm going to shoot right into it. You see I've withdrawn the skirmishers here. At the square, it's holding. Son of a bitch in square is holding. Look at that. I don't know if you want to be in this or not. Oh yeah, there they go. So, I've decided to reform the line in the woods back there, retire some battalions, because the axemen had taken this flank. And now they're just a mob. They're running everywhere. I'm going to let them run everywhere. Look at this charge. My opponent trying to hit the center. He put some serious damage on, but because we're Russians, we're going to go ahead and reinforce this fight. Now I could have thrown this regiment in to their flank, but I was enjoying the firefight. Instead, I'll throw them in. Alright, Axeman moving in here. Dostrelski. Now you can see he tried to kite me over here. This was very smart on my opponent's behalf. He's shooting, I'm chasing. I had to be very careful to just go ahead and give up the chase. You can see the Austrians on my left, they kept pressing this tree line until we broke it. Staying in this tree line, I was able to minimize casualties and minimize the amount of units I was willing to come in, so that I can continue to work on the center and the right. Another square. This fight has stagnated, and I think soon what I'm going to want to do is turn one of these regiments and fire into them, or even hand-to-hand. Axeman hitting another square. Boy, this guy's fighting for his life, isn't he? Look at that. Some of these things that I couldn't see. Now there goes cannon fire. He got his cannons into place, and the grape shot and whatnot was starting to really bust up my Axeman. Not a big deal though. I'm willing to send the Axeman into any engagement anytime. And now you can see we're going to roll up this Austrian regiment. Oh yeah, get him boys. Yep, we're going to roll up that Austrian regiment. We're going to hold this front and continue to shoot it out with them. Let the Axemen continue to do their work. You can see his cannons definitely in action. We're just going to sit here, more or less. These were Jaegers. I didn't even notice until late game they were Jaegers. Oh yeah, get some good work done there. And now I can begin to press in the center. His cavalry broke mine and actually tried to work its way around, and I noticed this, and I began to move some of my light infantry into these trees back here, in case he was actually going for my general. Here he comes again. He was trying to kite me away. I wouldn't do it, so I'm going to form a firing line. Jeez, yeah, that cut into him bad. We're going to form a firing line there. This square finally broke, and the Axemen have reformed again. There's his cavalry right there, coming around the flank. And my light infantry is just getting into place. I don't even know if he notices it. You ready, boys? Coming right at you. What? Oh yeah, firing line. Well done. Broke him almost instantly. My opponent threw another regiment into those trees in hand-to-hand. You can see I've countered that with a regiment there. And now the entire, what's left of my line is going to go ahead and continue to push forward. We're looking for those cannon now, frankly. And the Axemen, unbelievably, are still in this fight. Canister right through the freaking wreckage. Look at that. Good lord. We're gonna go ahead and run those cannon over. You can see, I can't tell if he's trying to reform back here or not. We've driven off these Jaegers, 41 of them left. And at this point, the woods fight is completely over. The exchange that took place is long over. We're starting to pursue the Austrian regiments now. But they paid, didn't they? They paid. Look, it's dead on this hillside. So my opponent, I feel he made a good shift. He shifted this way to meet me. But I feel like the battle was his if he fought it along here, not out there. I was able to get to his flank and roll up his line. You see the Jaegers coming at us again. What fascinated me the most is that these axemen still in this. Still in this fight, you know? There's canister, cut right through the render. So that's good. And then we take these batteries. Get them, boys. On the chat, my opponent and I were sort of laughing about the end of this game. I'm letting some units rest simply because I can't remember they're here. Like this axe unit. They must have rallied at some point, and I just never noticed. Tremendous losses when he formed square. Because when he formed square, we ended up surrounding him. Jeez. I'm going to fast forward to the end because what happened was I think some of his units rallied. And came back at the end. I couldn't understand why his army wasn't annihilated right away. Yeah, you can see here, here's a unit. Jaegers, 41 Jaegers. Later on you'll see, I think there's some artillery on foot. Austria. Don't mess with the Russian bear. Yeah, like I sat here watching this while I'm talking to him in chat, trying to understand why it hadn't ended yet. That's when I noticed there were actually Jaegers walking up on us. And then way back here, 12-pound howitzers. And I didn't notice they were behind the red line because they don't look broken to me. Yeah, walking. Yeah, they didn't look broken to me. So he's going to go ahead and commit his Jaegers one more time. Why not? Just travel with him. Launching the holdouts. The Russian horde still looming large in front of them. A brave group of 41 guys, man. I give them props. I wanted the axeman in this again. He doesn't know which way to face. Deliver a volley, man. Just volley into somebody. There you go. Yeah, just volley into somebody. Don't run. Don't run. Oh yeah, we got a little volley off. Dropped a handful of them. 11. Jesus. And off they go. Throw the general in there, just to make a point of it. I'm not sure how you guys feel about Russian army builds. How do you build your Russian armies in Empire Total War? Are they cannon builds or what? Because you notice I had no cannon. So, I couldn't remember my opponent's name until just now, and obviously here it is. So, Mr. Mate 19, good game if you ever watch this video. Really good game, sir. You can see I deployed almost 500 more troops in the field. And Racked and stacked. Just curious. Yeah, here we go. Axemen. 91 kills, 84 kills for these units here. Woohoo! 118 for the light infantry. Good job, boys. I'll keep messing with this this particular build, but I imagine I'll run into situations where not having cannon and having only one unit of Cossack Cav is going to get me into a world of doing. Anyway, this has been the Blob, and this has been another Empire Total War Battle Report. Thanks for watching.